A cold wind was scraping across the Christmas market when Emma realized the man she'd been waiting for wasn't coming. She sat alone at a small wooden table under twinkling lights, hands shaking around a paper cup of hot chocolate, trying to pretend it didn't hurt. But it did. She had been rejected before even being met. Her blind date had seen her from a distance, whispered something to the waiter, and walked away. Emma didn't cry. Not because she wasn't hurt, but because she was tired of giving her tears to people who didn't stay. She forced a breath, lifted her chin, and told herself she'd sit for 5 more minutes before leaving. 5 minutes to collect her pride. 5 minutes to swallow the sting of being unwanted. That's when she felt a soft tug on her coat. She turned, and saw a little girl with curly brown hair clutching a stuffed penguin. Behind her stood a man, tall, calm-eyed, wearing a worn leather jacket and a shy smile. "Sorry," he said softly. "She thought you looked sad and, well, she wanted to check if you were okay." The girl nodded. "You look like you need a friend." Emma let out a breath she didn't know she was holding. I guess I do." The man stepped closer. "We're waiting for a table, but it's packed tonight. Would you mind if we join you?" His voice was gentle, respectful, completely different from the cold silence she'd experienced minutes earlier. Emma blinked, startled. "You want to join me?" He nodded. "Only if you're comfortable. I'm Jake, and this is Lily." Lily grinned. "She has pretty eyes, Daddy." Jake flushed, embarrassed. Kids say everything out loud. For the first time that evening, Emma laughed, a real laugh, warm enough to melt the edges of her disappointment. "Please," she said, moving her bag aside. "Sit." They settled at the small wooden table, 3 strangers wrapped in the glow of Christmas lights. Jake ordered cinnamon rolls for the table, explaining it was Lily's Christmas Eve tradition. When the waiter brought them over, Lily insisted Emma take the first bite so she could taste happiness sooner. Emma's chest tightened, not painfully, but with a slow bloom of warmth she hadn't felt in years. As they talked, she learned Jake was a single dad who worked double shifts at a repair shop, trying to give his daughter the kind of life she deserved. Lily was his whole world, but he admitted he sometimes worried she was missing what other kids had: a bigger family, more laughter, more love. Emma told them she worked as a bookseller, loved quiet mornings, and spent most holidays alone after losing her parents. "Not this Christmas," Lily declared, reaching for Emma's hand. "You can sit with us." Emma swallowed the lump forming in her throat. Jake gave a soft, apologetic smile, but she shook her head. "No, I'd like that." They spent hours walking through the market, watching carolers perform, sipping warm drinks, letting Lily drag them from one glowing stall to the next. Jake and Emma talked easily, laughing in the crisp night air, discovering a surprising amount of comfort in each other's presence. But the warmth wasn't without shadows. At one point, Jake's ex-wife called. He stepped away, voice low, shoulders tense. Emma could see the exhaustion in the way he rubbed his forehead. When he returned, he apologized. "It's complicated," he said. "She left when Lily was 3. She shows up once in a while, promises a lot, stays little. Lily doesn't understand why she keeps leaving." Emma nodded gently. "Kids don't understand leaving. Adults barely do." Jake looked at her, eyes softening. "You get it." She did. More than she wished anyone ever would. Later, when Lily fell asleep in Jake's arms, he hesitated. "I don't want to assume anything. But, thank you. Tonight could have been lonely for us too." Emma looked at him, at the man who showed up when she was at her lowest without ever knowing it, at the little girl who reminded her of the love she once had and lost. "You two saved my night," she whispered. Jake's voice warmed. "Maybe we saved each other." At the entrance of the market, under a snowfall of tiny white lights, they paused. Jake shifted Lily in his arms and then met Emma's gaze. "Emma," he said softly. "I know this wasn't planned, but I'd like to see you again. For real. Not just by accident." Her breath caught. "You would." "Yeah," he said simply. "You deserve someone who chooses you from the very beginning. I'd like to try being that person, if you'll let me." The wind brushed across her face. The world went quiet. For once, the rejection that started her night didn't matter anymore. Emma stepped closer, touched Lily's sleeping shoulder, and looked into Jake's earnest, hopeful eyes. "I'd like that too." Jake's smile spread slowly, the kind that stays. The kind that grows roots. And as they walked away together, footprints pressed side by side in the snow, Emma felt something she hadn't felt in years. Chosen. Wanted. Home. So if you're watching this right now, let this be your reminder. Sometimes the moment everything falls apart is the moment something better walks straight into your life. If this story touched your heart, tap the like button and subscribe so we can keep sharing moments that remind you you're never as alone as you think. Because sometimes, all it takes is one unexpected hello to rewrite an entire Christmas.